Game show night, hit or miss.
Game show?
Yes, game show. The hit is that the SBA is effectively underwriting, thereby leading to ding, 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 approval. And then we'll talk about the misses. What are the misses? The misses are the complications and challenges that SBA presents, thereby exacerbating the struggles of the small business owner. You, the contestant, get to choose which one is a hit and which one is a miss. So how are we going to do that today, folks? Well,
I have no idea. This is as much of a surprise to me as it is to y'all.
We are your hosts today.
Whoa.
We are your
I'm
hosts
on
today
Jeopardy.
On SBA EIDL, hit or miss. Yes, it's game show
Hello,
night.
Kim Williams.
Now, wait, hold on. Did you notice? This guy kind of looks like Trevor.
That's not me.
But it's not Trevor.
No, don't even go there.
Because that's Trevor.
Oh!
10 years ago. Okay, we're just going back in time
It's
a little bit.
actually like 13 years ago, but who's counting?
All right, so
hello,
now.
Madison Taylor. Hello, Chris McKay.
Hello.
Studio.
Hello, Kim. Welcome back. All right, so this is how it's going to go.
Alan Callow in the house.
Alan Callow, where are you tuning in from, Alan? Are you overseas?
Hey, V. Okay, Linda Ray, take it away.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to go. There's about a dozen hit or miss topics that I will prompt. Trevor will expound upon it, but I will tell you, he's exhausted. So he wants to just give you a brief insight as to the 3 hours just that happened before the show.
Tell him why I'm exhausted.
It's
I literally wrote the script and rehearsed it with you 5 minutes ago.
Because hit or miss, there are, okay.
That's why.
This is the theme. But do you want to share the exact what happened?
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm exhausted because of hit or miss. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Okay, so hit or miss.
All right, so this is how it's going to go. If it's a hit or if it's a miss, you're going to see this. Or if it's a miss. Okay, so let's get started with, here we go. What would be the first one? Let's start with a fun one.
There's a fun one?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
If you, as an EIDL applicant,
I thought I was going to get to tell them why I'm so exhausted for the last 3 hours.
It's been exhausting just waiting for you to tell them why you're exhausted.
We agreed I was not going to interrupt you tonight.
I said, tell the contestants what happened in the last 2 hours that you were bitching and moaning about. Go.
Okay. All right.
Tell us.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
okay.
So we got back from running errands, and for the last, 2-3 hours, I've been on emails, responding to emails that clients are forwarding for SBA. I'd like to say there were hits. There were no hits. They were hits. All miss. No, there was some hits. All right. Here's a hit or miss. Client gets an email to log in the portal. So I log into the portal and I see upload documents. So I jump over to the page and it's asking for 3 documents. So a PO22, a tax return, and I don't know, maybe a 2202. I don't remember, something else. So I upload the documents and I go back to homepage, go back to review page, refresh it, make sure it's all good. Everything shows in review. Nothing else to do, log out. Send the client a text message and an email, follow up. This is what's going on. Great. 14 seconds later, client texts me and says, hey, I just sent you another email. They want me to log in again. I'm like, what? I just logged out. So I log in again, and now it wants an IRS 4506T. Why wasn't that on the list the first time?
Literally moments ago, right?
Hit or miss?
Wait, hold on.
She's got to do the graphic.
I got to do the miss. It's miss. Okay. So
next hit or miss. Got a client. He's an Uber driver. He's been with us for a lot of months. We finally get a response from the SBA today, and they basically have modified his loan. It's an approval, right? So before looking at the approval letter and before logging into the portal, I jump into his file where I have notes that I've already calculated what his maximum loan is. So what does it say in my notes? It says maximum loan, $151,000 and change. So $151,000. Great. Now I go back to the client's email. I open up the modification letter from the SBA. It says $25,500. Miss.
Hold on a second. I got to be more quick with
miss.
this.
Hold on. It gets worse. So I said to the client, you know what? Let me log into your portal and have a look and see what it says there.
Really?
Maybe I can change the amount, right? So he gives me his password, except he hasn't used it in a long time, and it's like a really wackadoodle password, and it doesn't work. So I gave him a suggested password. I said, reset the password to this. Well, that was an hour and a half ago. He's still trying to reset the password as of 3 minutes before showtime.
Yeah.
Miss.
Hey, Kathy.
Miss.
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 Hey, Edgar.
Graphic.
What's happening?
Miss.
You want miss?
Graphic.
Another?
Miss.
Oh, we could. Are you guys hearing the sound effects I pull with that? I hope
The sound effects?
There
Cool.
were sound effects.
2 days ago, a client who started with, the client applied on his own in the spring of 2020, as many of you all had, and he was declined for, I don't remember the reason, but he hired us in April of 2021. When I looked at everything, his credit report, he's got a 700 credit score, tax returns, everything is perfect. Perfect eligibility. We started in April. We were declined twice from April until Tuesday. That's a miss. You want to do two misses?
You know, I guess. All right. There's a lot
of. Sunday, he gets an email, log in, upload documents. We do it. We upload some more documents on Monday. Tuesday, he was approved for $500,000. 10 months after he hired us. So that's what we mean by hit or miss.
All right, but
last one.
We got a ton.
Another client who was approved on her own hired us to manage the increase in April of last year. She was declined for the increase, hired us. We've been working on it since April of last year. And she gets an email from a loan officer today. It says, hey, you have requested $300,000. No, you have requested, he says something like, you have requested what you already got. You already got 150, but that's what you're requesting. But you can get 300. So you have to request 300. Except we prepared the documents that she has submitted.
There's no request.
We never put an amount on there because you cannot put an amount. You cannot ask the SBA for an amount unless you get the blue button with the slider. So, and we know that she didn't do that. So we also know that looking at her tax returns, her business is eligible for $1.7 million.
300.
So where he's getting 300,000, miss. I've got. Okay. I could go all night with hit or miss stories, but
no, these were just the stories that happened literally a few hours prior to the show.
Except for the approval on Tuesday, because I wanted to have at least one hit in there.
Okay, we got one hit. Wait, did we have one hit? We did. 500,000. It's the same.
Hello, Kathy Lee and Willie and Dental and Antoine, and I think I got everybody. Okay, and David
Kim
Houston.
And David.
I said hi to
Kim. Yeah,
okay. And Avery.
All right.
Hi.
So let's start with a hit because there's really only one. Okay, so but I'm not going to tell you.
I got a hit.
Just already.
Hold on, Linda Ray. I have a hit. You ready?
Yeah.
If I fell in love with you. Would you promise to be true and help me understand? Okay. Because I've been in love before.
Not like this.
I found that love was more.
I can't sing.
Than just
I'm not going to sing.
Holding hands. If I get... Okay.
Okay.
That was a big hit in 1965.
All right. So we have said this ad nauseum. In fact, everything we talk about on these live shows.
I have another hit I can sing later.
No. We go on and on ad nauseum about all of these, but it really is about the loan officer.
Really, honestly, I won't lie. These shows are like therapy for us.
Yeah.
This is a coping mechanism.
That was the other theme for today, Trevor.
Right. I've been working on coping mechanisms all day.
Managing coping mechanisms.
It's not working out.
Okay. So it really is about the loan officer. And so one of the tips of this hit that as a non-loan officer person, but as a previous underwriter, it really, you want to approach when an SBA loan officer, loan rep, loan specialist, whatever, when they contact you, and if you're not represented by Aurora Consulting, because you know who you are, because you know you're not supposed to be talking to them, you want to go in with, okay, this could be a hit or a miss on how this person is looking at my file, reviewing my paperwork, analyzing my documents, doing math, et cetera, et cetera. And you want to go in cautiously to be prepared that they may not be going the extra mile. Okay. So that's just a little tip on making sure.
Well, not going the extra mile, like, doing basic math, hit or miss. So you get, first of all, I will tell you, I have not yet met a loan officer except one who did what we used to do in the mortgage business, which is make a counteroffer. Who says, you know what, the gross profit says that your client's eligible for 1.4 million.
Yeah.
But I'm required to do a cash flow analysis, and the net income does not support the cash flow analysis. There's not enough income on the 2019 tax return to, yes, JMR, I have had one of those SBA days. So the loan officer said there's not enough cash income, bottom line, to service the debt, what we call in the business debt servicing. Would your client take $500,000? Because he said, then I don't have to do cash flow. It's the only instance where I've had a counter offer. You see, what the loan officer is saying is, yeah, technically 1.6 million, but if it's got to go to another loan officer team, and when they do the math, I don't think it's going to work. But I can give your client 500,000 right now, and we took the 500,000. In all other instances, they decline the loan.
Right.
You see, hit,
or
thing. When we had a declination last week where she said the debt service, or 2 weeks ago, she said the debt servicing does not support 1.8 million. So I don't know what their math is, but I did some basic, percentage math like we do in the mortgage business. I came up with some ideas, and I said, well,
Mark,
why couldn't she just counter offer him? He got 500. She could have given him another 250,000. He can service that debt. You see? So
you're
hit or miss.
You're kind of going ahead, and I had to find the banner.
I didn't know you had a banner for that.
Well, I did, because yes, in this last week. Okay, here's a hit for you. Here's a hit. Okay.
Congratulations, Mark. That's good to know.
Yeah, especially V for V with the being nervous. We had 4 loans approved this week.
V, be nervous about climate change. Don't be nervous about this.
Yeah, it's just timing, and it's all about the waiting it out until they get. But we had 4 approvals totaling of a little over $1.2 million. So there's activity. Things are happening.
And let's talk about this approval. So I told you about the 500,000. Another one was 39,900 for an original application I submitted in December. And the loan officer reached out and asked for updated identification, which we submitted. We had already submitted. We sent in again. Asked about using what computer was used for submitting, and because we're the authorized representative, I responded, we used my computer. And 48 hours later, we got an approval. No muss, no more fuss. Yeah. Another loan that we had approved last week, where the client, we told you about it on last week's show, she signed up with us January 8th of last year, and she was approved on January 25th of this year. So hang in there, because it is possible.
Okay, here's one for you all to guess. I want you to put in the chat if it's a hit or a miss.
You guys get to answer the questions.
E-Tran versus tax transcripts. What are we thinking about this with no other information?
I'm thinking another hit song. It goes like this. Help! I need somebody help. Not just anybody help. I need someone help. Because with this question, y'all gonna need help. All right. So what is it, Linda? Hit or miss? Hello, my Cajun friend.
Look at Ashton. I hope you're well, my friend. All right. You're supposed to put in the chat if you think the E-Trans/tax transcripts is a hit or a miss. I'm not seeing anybody guessing. This is an easy one, folks. This is an easy one. Let me give you
The question
a
is,
hint.
is E-Tran tax transcripts a hit or a miss? And I kind of already gave you a hint. I sang it to you.
Now, why is that, folks? Let's explain it to you.
Antoine, hit. Wrong. Sorry.
No.
Thank you, Kim.
It's a miss because once again, not only do they not know how to read tax returns and do the math for the eligibility formula, but they also don't know how to read the E-Tran with other funding, other businesses.
So let me explain to you what E-Tran is.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though I was like giving them a little nugget of
No, I know,
nonsense, more nonsense.
But let's translate it into plain English. So E-Tran is a federal portal for federal employees who are in the lending arena or grants and things of that nature, where they can log in and they can see all of the federally insured loans or grants that you or your business have received. And so in other words, we found out about the E-Tran confusion with a client who was here in our little town in Connecticut. We did EIDL for him last year, original, filing. We did PPP for him in 2020, we did EIDL and PPP. Then last year in 2021, we did restaurant relief. He's a veteran of the armed forces, so he was in the priority group. He was approved. He asked us in December to get a further increase. Thank you, Kim. And so we put that in. He was declined immediately the next day. How could that be? Well, it is our contention, hit or miss, that it missed because some knucklehead clerk at the SBA looked at the E-Tran to see how much money this business had received and saw the restaurant relief and didn't go the further step to look over here and say, oh, that's restaurant relief, but he's asking for EIDL increase. Yes. So they just went decline because you've gotten the maximum amount. So that's E-Tran. Now you want to tell them about what the hit or miss is on transcripts?
The hit or miss on transcripts. Oh, that they're not. But I am going to go back to Sharif. I'm going to answer your question very quickly because we just did a video on it a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to have you go back into our video list to find it. It's called Switching Banks. That's on the thumbnail. With the tax transcript, they're not digging deeper into, especially for independent contractors, sole proprietors, self-employed, the Schedule C. They are just looking at or saying there's no business because they're not finding the Schedule C, and they will just decline versus actually doing their job.
And the other problem with tax transcript we've seen, so we have a client we're working on. I did the original application last year. It was declined because they kept asking for him for proof of rental loss. Because clearly what they're looking at is his tax transcript, which has a Schedule E for rental. Except, as we have tried to tell them multiple times, that's his wife's property. It's not his.
Yeah.
Plus, on our original application, we put 0 for rental loss. So we're not asking for rental loss. So Ashton Bourne, I love this question.
Yeah.
So wait. How come it's not showing up?
Yeah, because because I'm not in there. I'm actually.
Oh, there it is. So Ashton, actually, before we started doing EIDL, when COVID hit and our financing business got wiped out, I did apply for a job at the SBA.
Oh yes,
memories. That was March of 2020. By the way,
it was really for kicks and giggles because he knew nothing was going to happen. And guess what? Nothing happened.
That sounds like a miss to me.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm putting the link in the chat, Sharif. Wait, miss? Okay, here we go.
US.gov about my
That
job.
was 2 years ago, in a couple of months. I think you applied in March or April.
To be clear, I applied for a loan officer job, which was paying $72,000, substantially less than any loan officer anywhere on God's green earth makes. Yeah. Certainly someone with 30 years experience.
And Ashton would be right. Oh, by the way, Ashton, because of that, you get this.
See what you did there. Okay.
All right.
What's up next there, girlie?
What's up next? So we did okay. So here's All right. For the fine contestants at home.
All right, hang on. Before you put this up, because we have a singing theme going on, before she puts this one up, I want to give you a hit or miss. Are you ready? So when she posts this and you see what it is, and so basically when you take this action that she's going to post on the screen, when you undertake this action, you're going to start singing this song. You ready?
Wait, what am I doing?
No, don't post it up
singing?
yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
When you all read what Linda's going to post, which is something you have to do to interact with SBA, the song I want you all to sing when you do it is this one. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
All right, so
post it, girly.
While you're singing, you also have to put if this is a hit or a miss. Okay. Receive emails to log in and there's nothing to do, or you log in without an email from SBA and there's stuff to do. I don't know. What do you think that is? I think that is.
The clients get these emails and everybody gets so excited. Oh my God, I didn't work out my file. I'm so happy. And then we log in and there's like literally nothing to do.
Okay. The next one, this could trip you guys up because this could trip you up. All right.
So, Erica Brown nailed it. Miss.
Nailed it. All right. Here we go. SBA communications contradictions between website and email, emails and declination letters with vague or ambiguous information. Do you think this is a hit or a miss? Now, y'all have to take a chance and put something in there because it's possible you will not be wrong, okay? If that is even more ambiguous than me trying to get y'all to answer, is it a hit or a miss? Well, first I'm going to tell you this. It could be this. Or it could be this. It could be either. And so you have to use that to your advantage. So what does that mean? It means if you get a declination letter, even if it says final, because we say bleep final.
Miss shit.
Bleep final. If it says final, you don't listen to them just because it's ambiguous. You don't know. You don't know that they're wrong. They don't know that you're right. So you have to keep going.
We had it happen. Am I jumping ahead? We had it happen on last week's show.
Oh, yeah.
Eidl was attending our show, and Eidl posted that he received, or she, we don't know if it was a man or woman, received a declination letter that afternoon, and it said final. This is final decision. We regret. We can take no further action. While he was on the show, interacting, asking questions, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time last week, he received an email
within an hour of the show,
requesting more documents for his file. But his file was still active.
We were still on the show when he got an email an hour after he was asking the question, what happens if I get a final declination?
I said that already. You weren't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention. Okay.
There's no song for that, by the way. Please pay attention.
All right. Okay. Here's a favorite. Here's a favorite of action and controversy. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. What possibly could I be talking about? Calling the SBA. Do you think that's a hit or a miss? Hit or a miss? Hit or a miss? Some of you may think it's a hit. Some of you may think it's a miss.
Well, I know for a fact, someone told me, everybody on Reddit says you should do it every day. It's a hit. Everyone in Reddit says calling the SBA is a hit. And y'all know how much I love Reddit.
Oh, no. So, yeah, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. It's only going to frustrate you because they're going to try to get you off the phone because the people answering the phone, they don't know anything about you or your
Peter
file. They don't care. They don't care.
Peter Akbari. Biggest miss, if ever there was one.
Oh, we got some more, Peter. Stick around. We've got some more that could be as compelling.
Doesn't Linda look amazing tonight, folks?
Oh, stop. Go on.
She got her hair done today.
Yeah, and then I put a hat on it because the ladies know when you get your hair done, I don't know about you guys, but I got to do it myself, you know?
Hi, Leo. Thank you.
Hey, Leo. How are you, sir? It's so nice to see you here. Okay. What's the next one? We got... Oh, okay. So this is another one where you guys have to guess. You have to guess if it's a hit or a miss. You could be right, or you could be right, or you could be not wrong, or you could be right.
You may be right. I may be crazy, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for.
You have 10 seconds.
Turn out the lights.
No, we're going to get copyright infringement.
Don't try and save
Stop.
me.
You have 10 seconds to sing.
20, actually.
Is it 20?
20
Okay.
seconds
All right.
for copyright.
So
Ashton Bourne is going to time me with a stopwatch every time I
20
sing
seconds. We don't need our channel shut down because you're singing songs. And Kim Williams was like, the dude can sing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So what do we have here? SBA rep finding the right documents you submitted in their internal CA. Oh, come on, you guys. Come on.
Hit or miss.
Can we celebrate this?
Wait, can we actually get some answers besides Antoine and Ashton?
Wait, here's a good answer.
Erica Brown answers all of them.
I'm so
Wait, and then Ashton comes right back with, "We gonna do this again, dental bro? Shouldn't mind, bro."
So no, wait. Now you put the banner up, and now I have to make sure that we all know that this is yes. Finally. Okay.
But by the way, it could just as easily be a miss.
Yeah.
And too often it is a miss. That's the problem.
Oh, dental's a lady. We got the ladies in the house tonight. There you go. All right. What's the next one here? We're just moving down here. Oh, this one. All right. If you guys don't answer this, all right, we're going to just shut it down. Okay. I need some answers. Because I really need you to know that this one is important. Okay. Uh-huh. I don't need to tell you.
Hit
right?
or miss.
I don't need to tell you. Y'all know, right?
Hit or miss.
Come on.
Hit
Come on.
Or miss.
Yeah, we're doing it. We see it too often.
We just did it a couple of days ago with a client, and
yes.
he and I wrote back, "Okay, this is great that you got the activity," and we just uploaded the documents. And he reminds me, he goes, he says, "Okay, I'm with you, but remember," he says, "we did the same exact thing in November, same documents, same email, and we're still waiting." Mm-hmm. So hit or miss. Today, my Eidl portal stated, "Finally, my documents are completed. Now the next step is verification."
Yeah.
Real deal. We have a very simple answer to that question, which comes from my career as a commissioned loan officer in the mortgage business. And the famous joke amongst loan officers to the new guy or the new gal in the bank is, "Hey, new gal, when do you earn your commission on that mortgage loan that you wrote?" The answer is, when the money clears my bank account. Yeah. So real deal, there's no way to answer the question close or far away.
And let me just
hang in there and be patient with the process.
Let me give you a vague answer, even more ambiguous. Okay. The thing is, there's too many people, too many hands, too many eyeballs touching your file. They have teams and reps and specialists and officers, et cetera, and they're all passing it along. No one wants to really make a decision until they actually make a decision, and you don't know. So,
like my old friend Billy says, Trev, you don't know what you don't know. No.
What?
My God, we literally have been sharing this motto for 7 years. How did you screw that up? Don't screw me up.
You don't
know what you don't know
until you know. There you go. All right. So next, hold on. Let me just take down this comment. So the next one is, okay, here's another one that you guys have a shot at being right or not wrong. Okay.
This is Linda's new thing, by the way. Okay.
Repulling credit authorization. Everyone loves to talk about credit. Credit scores, credit inquiries, credit reports, rerunning credit. Are they going to run my credit? Blah, 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 blah. On our other channel, we just did. Oh, here's a little tip for you. What we just did on our other channel is a podcast episode on video.
Real deal. You're welcome.
On credit inquiries. Go and watch that. It's 17 minutes. You don't have to watch it. You can listen to it about credit scores, credit reports, et cetera, et cetera.
Charisse, we cannot answer that question. First of all, we don't answer questions about the grants.
Yeah.
And number two, there's no way we know internally how the SBA works. So we can't answer that question.
So, all right, on repulling credit, is this a hit or a miss? I mean, I really want you guys to participate with this because I'm going to tell you some good news, okay?
Well, before you do that, let me answer this question real quick. Carlos, no. They're going to use 2019. The only time you will ever see a loan officer at SBA use a 2018 tax return is if you had little or no income for some valid business reason in 2019. And you can demonstrate that you had income in 2018. There's someone on the show tonight who we're working on trying to convince SBA to do that. But in terms of using a different tax year to qualify for more money, no, absolutely not. And this goes back to if you hear, Carlos, people giving you advice, well, go back and amend your tax return. That's actually fraud.
Yeah.
So that goes back to videos we did back in the spring of last year when all the punks on Reddit were telling everybody, you can get more money from the Eidl if you amend your tax returns. Except that's what they call fraud. So sorry, Carlos. No, 2019 tax return is what the SBA uses for the Eidl COVID-19 program.
Do you want, since we're on the credit authorization, do you want to answer Chad's question? I'm going to put a link.
I can't answer it in a general way other than, well, okay, let's see. Let me see if I can answer it in a general way.
I'm putting the link to the episode.
General way is this. First of all, if you had delinquent payments in the past, you got to make sure you've been paying on time for the last 90 days. Number two, if you are over limit or maxed out, you've got to lower your credit balances to 50% of revolving credit available. On the other hand, if you've got late payments on your credit report, what we call derogatory credit or collection accounts, you should lower your revolving balances to 25 or 30%. Do not pay off collection accounts. Do not pay off charge-offs. Do not pay off judgments, because actually when those get reported to your credit report, it will actually lower your credit score. Mm-hmm. That's about all I've got. We've got other information elsewhere.
Go to the link. Go to the link, Chad, and if nothing else, just let it run in the background on a low volume to help our algorithm for that channel. Yes, I am asking you to help us out with that channel.
Ashton, just to answer your question, there are no internal changes at SBA other than we are seeing Jumpstart is having a result with a lot of files. Still not as many as we would like.
No.
And Cobb, hey, Anna, how are you? Hope you're feeling well. No, it will not affect your chance of getting approved.
No. All right. So let's go back to repulling the authorization and if that's a hit or a miss. I'm going to start with the good news. The good news is that it is this, but I'll tell you why. It's because there's activity on your file and they have unearthed it from the depths of the darkness of the SBA dungeon. Okay. So that's really good. That was good. The reason why it could be that is because, especially if they've already run the credit at some point in the last 23 months, it means you likely should have already been approved at some point, and they're doing it again because they languish, they're a disgrace, and etc. So it's a miss because if they have to do it again, that means you've been waiting. It's a hit because it means your file is active at the SBA and not declined. Okay. So, thumbs up maybe for that. I don't know. It's all subjective.
Okay. Traveling. So, if your loan was approved, okay. So one thing to be very careful of, folks.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
When you tell us here on our show your loan was approved, I want to know that you got an email that says approved, and that you can log into the portal and sign the closing documents. If you are about to tell me, traveling, and I'm going to ask you to respond, that the loan officer told you by email or on phone that you're approved, that's not an approval. That you see, and then it happened just today with a client who's doing congressional inquiry and has a real knucklehead of a loan officer, which would be a miss.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And this loan officer calls the client and says, okay, I'm approving your file. And in a couple of days, you should see something in your portal. Well, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
What he should have said to our client, and traveling, I'd like to know what they told you, is they should say, I am recommending you for approval, but there's another level of scrutiny for your file before it is actually officially approved. And in the case of this client today with the supposed high priority congressional inquiry, and it's not so high priority, by the way, after all, we logged into the portal an hour after getting that phone call from the loan officer, and all it says is, he got an email, the client got an email to log in and accept the eligible amount. And that's all we did. Yeah. And then it said submit for processing. So, well, I mean, I do that all day long for clients without congressional inquiries. So traveling, please tell us how you think you're approved.
Also for how do I get? Okay. We'll get to Marcus in a minute, but
Marquis.
Go to the community tab in this channel. I just shared 2 posts from weeks, if not months ago, on when you're actually approved. This is what happens when you're approved. Everything else means you're still in process.
Right.
If the loan officer tells you that he's recommending for approval, that's not being approved. When you go in to confirm an eligibility amount, that's not being approved. No. When you get an email that says continue to your portal to update, that there's an update, so continue, that's not an approval, and it's likely just more minutia of the nonsense. What, are you kicking me on the table?
I just kicked you on the table because it's kind of starting to beat it to death, and traveling has not responded to us, so I guess we're going to move on from this. But
all right.
But traveling, and for everybody else, to be very clear, when you get an email from SBA, the email says you're approved. It says approved. Congratulations, you're approved. Please log into your portal. You log into your portal, the closing documents are there in the portal. So you should not be waiting for closing documents. The only time you're waiting for closing documents is if you have other business owners on the application, people who own 20% or more of the business, and you're the primary, those other business owners are going to receive closing documents as well in their emails.
All right. So,
you're going to answer a question, or you want to do another hit or miss?
You want to, so
it's your call.
Did you do the, if I did amended, no. How do you get loan approved if I did an amendment? And
Marquise, all I'm going to tell you is you're screwed.
Yeah. Listen,
if you did an amended tax return.
If you did an amended tax return in the last, like forget about 2022. I won't even think you did it in the last month. But if you did it in 2021, there's a built-in delay and challenge.
Generally speaking, with amended tax returns, it's not happening because the SBA essentially, I mentioned this a few minutes ago, essentially believes that anybody who amended their tax returns after applying for the EIDL loan or requesting an increase or before requesting an increase is attempting to commit fraud. Unless you can prove with, blood, hair, urine, and DNA analysis of the reasons why you and your accountant decided to amend a tax return. And I'm telling you, it's a very high bar. Now, mind you, no one in the SBA is ever going to tell you this.
No.
Because we are trained in the financing industry. We're trained in financing industry. We don't accuse people of fraud. We think it all the time. And we talk about it internally at the banks and at the SBA. They talk about it, but they're not going to tell you, hey, we think you. Although we had a loan officer recently who told one of our clients she thought he was attempting to fraud.
So this is the thing too. Let me just say this about amended tax returns and all this implied. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt clearly that you're having to learn a hard lesson in how financing is done or how your financials are done or the professional you chose to do your financials. And you may want to rethink that. And it's going to be a costly decision versus trying to do this workaround. Is there any way around it? It's like, no. 2019 was almost 3 years ago.
Let me just tell you, it leaves Zafu up before we put something else, because I want to address this. It looks like it generally is what it looks like it is, folks. Yeah, filing an amended return after you have applied for financing looks like you are attempting to get more money by filing an amended tax return. That's all it is. Like I said, unless you can come up with like crazy documentary evidence of why you had to file an amended return. And by the way, the bar is so high. No. Now, Zafu, I'm thinking you're going to ask if the Eidl is going to be forgiven. Can you be more specific, please?
I already asked him that in the chat.
But if it's going to be, if you're talking about Eidl, this sounds more like Reddit talk. And if it's your first time on our show, Zafu, you'll find out very quickly how much I despise Reddit.
Let me forget about Reddit. Let's just put it.
I'm going to use Kim Williams' comment to describe what I think about Reddit.
Yeah. So
okay. Thanks, Kim.
So
Kim responds, exactly.
Right. So this is the thing about the what if, or will this happen? If it is not written into law, it's not happening. If it's not being proposed to Congress and written in law and been passed by the president, it doesn't exist. So stop thinking about it, because you can't do anything about it anyway. Control what you can control. Okay. For those who are already offended, sorry, that's what you get when you come here.
I'll sing again if it helps.
All right. Let's go to our next banner of the hit or miss. Being papered to death. Asks for one document. You get excited. You submit three. You submit the document. And then 3 to 7 days later, there's another document. Why aren't they asking for all the documents at once?
That's what we call in the industry papering you to death.
Yeah.
In other words, can you just get to the approval? I mean, what the hell? How many papers do you need? And if you're going to ask me for papers, can you just look at the file one time, do a full review, and give me the full list?
Well, this is why there's so many people that are working on one file and they can't find anything in the portal because it's disorganized. It's cluttered with stuff, like when you call or when you send emails without knowing why, or 17 times a week, it gets cluttered. They're disorganized. The portal is probably from bleeping 1953.
We do know that the reps are under pressure by the supervisors to clear a lot of files every day, which means that if they log into your file and they got to sort through pages and pages and pages of your phone calls, your emails, your actual document submissions, which is why we tell people, stop emailing and asking status. Stop calling us, because every time you do that, it gets registered in your file, and then the rep who's working your file has to look for it. So if you are an underpaid clerk or loan officer at the SBA, and you have to get a file clear off your desk because your SBA supervisor said you got to do 20 files today, and it's 11 a.m. and you're still on the second file of the day,
So
okay, thanks for that.
Yeah,
they're not going to take the extra time to go looking for that 4506 or that voided check, which means they're going to ask for it again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you okay over there? Okay,
I'm exhausted.
I know. All right, well, here's one that where you could be right or not wrong. So let's let the contestants in the audience answer the next question, and it is this. SBA system is overloaded. Reps can't find stuff or they don't take the time. We already talked about this
just a moment ago.
Literally, a moment ago.
14 seconds.
So right. Well, because you keep going ahead and then the banners are outdated. So you got.
I literally wrote this script a week ago. I totally forgot all about it.
Well, basically, as we already know. Then the next one. All right, here's another one. Now, these are, by the way, the reason that Trevor even developed these is because literally every one of these is something that has happened multiple times on multiple files that we've had to drudge through to try to get to the real meat of the damn issue so that they can then approve the file. This is another repeat. It's all about the loan officer. We did this about 43 minutes ago. So there's that. And now here's another one. What is this? Because this says we're guilty of this too. Oh, we're putting ourselves here.
Oh, we're rolling the bus right over our own heads.
Right over our heads.
In fact, we've been doing it through the whole show.
Yeah. We're guilty of this. Other folks giving advice are guilty. If you don't get the right person at SBA, no amount of advice on how to get approved seems to help. That's the basis of this entire theme tonight, because it really has been, that's how inconsistent the SBA has been. The SBA, the only thing that's been consistent about the SBA is just how inconsistent they are for literally 23 months. There is nothing concrete about, it's sort of like when I was in the insurance business and someone would say, why is my insurance so high? My neighbor's insurance is so much less. I said, you can't compare to your neighbor. Even if you had the same 2 cars and you each had 2 kids and you lived in the same house next door to each other, the insurance is going to be totally different. There's way too many variables. So you can't compare.
Got 3 questions to answer. Okay, Joshua, the answer is yes. In fact, I have an original application I submitted in November. I put in the first app. He has 2 businesses, 2 LLCs. He files Schedule Cs for the 2 of them. I put in one application at like 8 o'clock at night, and I was done with that. And I uploaded the second application at like 8:22 p.m. at night. And immediately the second one was declined, calling it a duplicate. So what you have to do, Joshua, is file a reconsideration. By the way, I filed a reconsideration on that second one, and they declined the reconsideration immediately, saying, no, hey, we already told you it's a duplicate. Okay, you morons, it's not a duplicate. So we just filed another reconsideration. That's why we say patience, process, persistence. Just hang in there. Next, whoa. Bouncing around here. Okay. Zafu answered our question. Yes,
yes, experts.
I got approved SBA after our question, and I got the monies before.
What?
No, there's no forgiveness on the EIDL. I'm sorry, wrong question.
Wrong answer.
Wrong question.
Unless you're talking about
answer.
PPP.
I don't know what that is.
If you got your PPP and applied through SBA for forgiveness of PPP, okay. But EIDL, forget it. Don't even put it out of your mind.
2 other questions I want to answer.
Where?
I'm getting to it. I'm just scrolling through looking for it. Okay, Eric. Estimated gross profit based on financials. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you put on the application. They go by the tax return. 2019 tax return, that's what they're supposed to use. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, in one of the things is that they often don't know how to read the tax return transcripts, and they don't take the time to actually open up your tax return. They just look at the transcripts. Mike,
we don't do target advance. We don't do grants or targeted.
Third question, then I'm going to hand it back to Linda. No, Brent, you cannot get a new loan off. You don't get to pick. You don't get to ask them. No. They assign them random, however they assign them internally. So,
and that's why you got to go back.
Erica Brown, put that in an email. Send that to me ASAP. If it's documents, upload it to your Smart Vault, please.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Mike, I'm sorry, we don't, as Linda said, we don't discuss targeted advances or grants on this
A loan
show.
officer asked me why I filed my 2018 tax return.
That's Michael Bowens.
I know, but
hey, Mike.
I know, but I just like, they're so.
Just answer the question. Just write back and say, I did it for this reason.
And better yet, if your CPA can substantiate.
Yeah, if you have a tax professional, get it in writing on their letterhead, signed and dated.
Yeah.
And it has to be a really good explanation.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're not supposed to be looking at 2018. So this is a loan officer. This is a miss. By the way, can you put up the miss thing with the music?
Yeah, miss.
Michael Bowen. This is a miss because I don't know why loan officers is wasting your time about 2018. That's so stupid.
And why why are they even inquiring on however you did your, for those of you who are going to be exhausted by what I'm about to say because you've heard it 1,000 times.
Hold on. Peter Akbari has the best miss of the evening.
So
read it out loud. Come on, read it out loud, Linda. This is the best. Peter Akbari gets a gold star.
I can't even. Why am I 2019? We're filed in 2020. Oh my God! Come on.
When were you supposed to file it, loan officer?
What?
In 2002?
That literally.
That's a good one, Peter. Peter, I needed that. I needed to get cracked up.
Thank you for the chuckle.
That's a good one. Peter writes back, it ended up writing a letter stating, that's how it works.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right. So where were we?
Sam Al-Rubi, stop talking. Okay. This is not going to fly with the SBA.
Oh, boy.
We know that you're saying to us your CPA made a mistake. Sam, your CPA didn't make a mistake. Okay. They didn't. We've had people tell us that. I'm not accusing you of anything, Sam. I'm just telling you how it's going to look to a loan officer at the SBA, and they're never going to tell you. It's going to look like fraud.
Yeah.
Because cost of goods sold generally does not change.
Yeah.
Expenses, yes. Because you can have what's called a one-time expense. You can have payroll that change. You discovered that you had 2 W-2s that never went out, that were never registered. But cost of goods generally, and by the way, cost of goods is all about your CPA's opinion.
Yes.
So,
that's why that's part of
this is what we said before.
Their privilege of having that designation is they give opinions. And the thing is what I was about to say, and thank God, even though I'm menopausal, that I didn't forget. If you are figuring out certain ways that taxes were done, but they're not benefiting you now, but they may have benefited you before,
for your taxes,
you can't pick and choose how it's done. Because it's inconvenient now.
It's considered fraudulent,
okay,
both by the IRS and
we're not pointing any fingers at anyone on this show. We're just saying,
if you don't have cost of goods sold, Peter, it's John Peters. It's your gross profit.
You can't have strategies to lower your tax liability and then change your strategy to qualify for more funding when you're applying for a loan. You don't get it both ways. You pick, you choose, and you deal with the consequences.
Okay, you got any more hit and miss?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So where were we?
So we've striven this evening
actually,
to be not hit or miss, or we're not miss by not really saying to you, this is how you get approved at the SBA, which is what inspired me to write this show last week. I saw someone else's video on YouTube in my feed. It was from I don't know why it appeared in my feed because it was 4 months old, and it said, she's going to show you how to get approved for Eidl. I'm like, oh my God, that's what we do. And the fact is,
no, we don't.
Other than some fundamentals, nobody can teach you how to get approved at the SBA. Well, it's hit or miss.
And the other thing too is over 23 months, SBA will change, they change how they're doing things, or how they say that they're doing things, or they're publishing in different places how they're doing things, right?
Like duplicate applications, right? So
wait, so remember, so the history of EIDL.
You're welcome, John.
The history of EIDL is 1953 for natural disasters: flood, fire, hurricane, tornado, your house or your business damaged. Finite period of time. Storm came, storm damage, and then the storm left, and there's a period of time. Okay. But the thing is, it was up to 2 million. Then they capped it at 150. They capped it at 500. Now there's a directive, supposedly, because, from Congress to underwrite based on cash flow for loans over 500,000. It's but I thought it was because of economic injury, right? So 24 months working capital. And
I saw a video over on Skip, a writer doing on Skip, and he had an SBA administrator on, and she said, for all loans, take gross profit times 2, but that's not how they do it. For all loans above 500,000, they're doing cash flow analysis. Duplicate application is a good example of what Linda was talking about changing rules. And John, thank you for your kind compliment.
Thank you.
I had multiple SBA representatives in 2020 and 2021 when a client had duplicate applications. The representatives, and I'm talking about tier 2 agents, telling me, well, what you want to do is, the better quality application, and you can have them remove the bad application. Well, that's not how SBA does it now. For the last 4 months, SBA requires if you've got duplicates, you have to focus SBA's attention on the first application that was filed, no matter how defective it is, which is nuts. So that's a good example.
So Zephu, you're saying it was PPP and I got the money. It's been 4 months now. 4 months for what? I don't understand. You got PPP, like what? Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
I don't understand the question.
Sorry, Zephyr, can't really help you. It sounds like you need to file for PPP forgiveness. You have to contact your lender or go to SBA.gov and try to log in and create an account to get PPP.
You would have gotten PPP.
We don't really discuss PPP here on our show or Zephyr because
not anymore. We used to because we were assisting with that, but PPP's been over for a long time. Rita, I think you're talking about the grant. I don't.
Rita's talking about the grant. And I'm sorry, Rita, we don't discuss grants, and no, we don't know how to escalate cases,
especially grants.
Eric, you are welcome. I'm not sure
for what. You're just saying thank you. You're saying you're welcome to. Goofball. Okay, so I don't think we have any more hit or misses, but I think we should go back to the fact.
I do want to go back to Rita. Rita, you don't know why you were declined. Stop.
Oh.
Stop. Cut it out.
No.
Rita, you don't.
No.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
I mean, listen.
I'm a professional.
Some of the reasons. Okay, let me ask any of you out there if you've been declined for unverifiable information. Did you know at the time what it was that was unverifiable?
Nobody knows.
Because they don't tell you. If they tell you that you're declined for unsatisfactory credit history, but they don't tell you exactly, well, what does that mean? Like, they don't really go into what about it.
And it doesn't matter.
To know that you could overcome it potentially.
It doesn't matter. Just file a reconsideration. That's all you can do. 2 instances. So we just had an approval on Tuesday for a loan for $500,000. You're welcome, Zephu. Thank you for being here tonight. And this client's loan was declined for the second time after I filed his reconsideration starting in April of last year. It was filed for the second time back in November. And the reason given was
Mark,
you crazy. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
The reason given, Rita, and this is why I want you to understand, nobody knows. The reason given at the time was lack of activity, failure to submit documents, basically that we weren't following up, except I was submitting documents almost every 2 weeks. So, and actually it happened to 2 of our clients. So that's why, and I have other situations, loans that I've submitted. I personally have submitted the original application and they get declined for unverifiable information or for credit. We run our own credit report here, the same credit report that SBA runs, and I'm looking at a credit score of 700, and the SBA is saying the credit's bad. So Rita, you don't know why you were declined. Do not call the SBA and ask them why you were declined. It's a waste of time. What you want to do is file a reconsideration. So,
you could get a call and you will get an email. Yeah, that's going to happen when they're looking at your file. The dismal reality.
Well, V, keep in mind, because you're our client, if you get a call, you're not supposed to speak to the SBA agent ever. Do not answer the phone.
We send you scripts and
use our script.
People don't actually read what we send to them, and then they get themselves in trouble. But yeah, if they're looking at your file, they're going to call or send an email. If they're not sending an email or they're not calling, they are not looking at your file yet. So we have to wait. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes.
Michael, Experian. They pull Experian, as far as we know.
Yeah. Please, y'all, if you haven't left a Google review, if you found our information useful and or productive and not insulting, we ask that you leave a Google review on our Google page, or either are free, or go to our Simple Sense for Small Business channel and subscribe so we can let YouTube know people are interested in our content over there. This podcast channel, we just started doing videos versus just audio. That channel, youtube.com/Aurora Consulting, has been birthed from 23 months of seeing mistakes made in small businesses that aren't just because they have struggled with getting a business loan, but small business practices.
You're welcome, Rita.
And operations, mistakes, blunders, just out of control stuff that business owners can prevent from happening. So that's why we have that channel, and mistakes we've seen that we've made too.
I'm kind of shocked, Ashton, not by the fact that you memorize the script, but that you brush your teeth.
What?
That was a joke. John Peters, I don't know exactly how they do it, but it is my impression. I believe they run the credit one time, and I don't know what their longevity is for how long before they'll require a new credit report. So if they just ran it December, I think you're okay. And remember, John Peters, you only have to have a 570 credit score to qualify for up to $500,000. 625 for over 500,000.
We've not seen stamped returns, and
Brent, the answer is no.
Direct transcripts from no.
They cannot. No lender anywhere, Brent, can approve a loan, whether it's a bank or a mortgage company or the SBA. No lender anywhere on God's green earth is going to approve a loan using your submitted documents as proof of filing. They will say to you, because the SBA's 4506 team, thank you, Kim, I love pizza. The SBA's 4506 team is filled with incompetents and idiots, and they make mistakes, and they tell people like Ashton Bourne on tonight's show that everybody in the family has to sign the 4506T, which is not what the IRS requires.
Right.
You know, all this nonsense. It's their mistakes that the transcripts come back no record found. So when you get a good, proactive loan officer, that loan officer might say to you, hey, do you have a stamped tax return? Do you have a copy of your transcripts? Because if you can show that to me and I can see that you actually did file your return, then I will tell the 4506T team to request your transcripts again. You see, the loan officer cannot and will not use your transcripts or your stamp return to approve the loan, only to provide additional feedback internally.
Oh my goodness. Mark,
we haven't accomplished anything yet, man.
Let him think that.
Ow. Holy cow.
All right. So I think, Mary, you're talking about
the grant. Sorry, Mary. We've had too many grant questions tonight. I'm sorry to be blunt, but I am Scottish.
Yeah.
We're not going to even try. We don't answer grant questions.
There's a map.
No, the grant program is closed. And listen, honestly, folks, I'm going to really lose my brains here. If you're still looking for grant money this far in, come on. Cut it out.
And the other thing too is there's a map that determines whether you qualify, and it's before the pandemic, where you were before. People are moving. And
before December 27th of 2020.
Okay, so what? Now I lost track. Oh, can we just go back?
Sam, I'm just going to tell you, as a veteran loan officer, this argument you have that the customer missed it does not hold water anywhere in the financing world. Do you know why, Sam? Because you have to sign the tax return. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Which means that you have reviewed the tax return. Yeah. See how that works? We know that. You know why? Because we also file tax returns, and we know we have to sign, whether it's e-file or whatever.
But
so you always have the chance to review the tax return.
But in the beginning,
so if that's your argument, you're going to lose.
Well, also in the beginning, back in 2020, no. Late 2020 and early 2021 and up to like around April, when April 6th happened with the increase to 500,000, we encountered clients that had this cost of goods sold scenario. And it was a challenge. It was a battle. They don't want to hear it, the SBA. They think they know. Oh my God, what are you doing?
See what I'm doing, Kim? See what I'm doing?
All right. So
I'm trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak and my thoughts seem to scatter, and I think it's about forgiveness. Oh, we're back on PPP again?
No, are we?
No. Forgiveness. Okay. Get it? Forgiveness. Even if.
Okay. If there's no more questions,
love me anymore.
If there's no more questions, we're gonna sign off.
Mike Smith doesn't do Google reviews. I hope you don't have any questions that have to be answered, Mike.
He did. He had a grant question, which is why he's not doing a Google review, because we did not answer his question. So I get it. I get it. Okay.
I'm winding it down, folks.
We're gonna wind it down.
Zonked by the SBA hits and misses.
Just want to
Today
say
alone,
thank you to Mark. Thank
Kim.
you to Kim. Appreciate your generosity and your appreciation for the value of information we try to share with the 23 months of experience with the SBA Eidl program, loan program. And so we do what we can. We have been really right a lot, but we've been incorrect in some areas only because they keep changing. They keep changing, so we adapt.
We're always right.
We adopt and
We're
adapt.
always right.
So
Always right. Thank you, Alan. I like the singing too.
Yes. But can we just, before we go, can we just all have a little bit of chuckle to remember or
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So this was the game show. Tonight was the SBA Eidl hit or miss game show. So I had a couple of fun, this is a game show image. We're standing in front of a podium doing this. And then I realized that guy looks like Trevor from Trevor 10 years ago. Trevor 1.0. 12 years.
13 years ago. That was
Trevor
2009.
lost 40 pounds at some point. He also had darker hair with the banker swoop back, or what do you call that? Okay, it was kind of funny. It was
slick back.
The slick back. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Kim, I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, I'm so happy. I love when people don't need us at all. It makes me happy, which is why we're not even accepting new clients anymore, because it's too much chaos. So take care, everyone. Please stay healthy, stay well, control what you can control. Put out all the worries of things that aren't happening in your world. Okay. So take care. We'll see you next time.